Hi everyone, Millie Elia here, nurse practitioner and certified health and wellness coach. Today I'd like to present to you what I consider to be one of the basic fundamental pillars of good health, and that is sleep. Today most of us are not getting enough of it, and we may even over time be suffering from what we call chronic sleep deprivation. This is a very common problem in our society, and the American Sleep Association has estimated that between 50 and 70 million people have some sort of sleep disorder, with the number one being insomnia. So how much sleep are we actually supposed to get? On average, adults should be having between 7 and 9 hours. It's estimated that on average today, most people are getting less than 6. This is a serious health concern because we know now that over time, sleep deprivation is directly linked to serious health concerns. The National Institute of Health has done studies that show chronic sleep deprivation is linked to conditions such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiac problems, hypertension, anxiety and depression, increase in alcohol consumption, and we even know that it lowers our immunity. And some studies are beginning to show that there may be a relationship between chronic sleep deprivation and changes to our DNA, which could possibly initiate the onset of cancer. So you can see that this is definitely a problem. This is noted in people that sleep less than 5 hours a night. So what actually happens in your body when you're chronically sleep deprived? Well, a number of things, but one important thing is you have a disruption in your normal hormone production. So we produce many, many hormones, but today I'd like to talk to you about just 4 of them. The first one being cortisol. Cortisol is our get up and go hormone. It's the one that rises in the early morning, wakes us up, and lets us get through our activities during the day. This normally peaks and then begins to come down by evening, just in time to allow us to get to sleep, according to a natural sleep cycle. After sunset, in the darkness, we produce another hormone called melatonin. Melatonin actually helps to relax us and get us back to sleep. It's very instrumental in our sleep cycle. So when, because of work schedule, family involvements, whatever you have going on, you may find that as your days extend and extend and extend, you may find yourself on the laptop or on the cell phone. These things can disrupt your normal sleep cycle because of something called blue light. Blue light emitted from electronics shuts down melatonin production, which then allows the cortisol levels to remain elevated. So it's much harder to get to sleep. You may notice that after an extended period of not getting enough sleep, you actually start to feel hungrier and may have a harder time controlling your cravings. Why is that? Well, let's talk about 2 other hormones that come into play. Number 1 is called leptin. Leptin is a hormone that's produced by our body that sends a signal that we're full. The other one is ghrelin. Ghrelin sends a signal that we're hungry. It stimulates hunger. So guess what? You guessed it. If you don't get enough sleep, these hormones also become disrupted. You wind up craving high-fat, high-carby foods and have a harder and longer time to feel satisfied. So here's the interesting thing. Women are more susceptible to chronic sleep deprivation because our natural hormones fluctuate according to our cycle every month. When you add on things like pregnancy, if you've ever been pregnant, you know how hard it is to sleep. Things like child rearing, you have to feed the babies every 2 hours when they're first born, plus a normal workload. So because of this, women are not only more susceptible to sleep disorders, they're also more susceptible to getting those chronic conditions that we talked about. So having said all this, what can we do? There's a lot you can do. I'm going to give you 3 tips today to try. I invite you to try 1 even tonight. You can always add on, but there are many, many things you can try, but here are my 3 tips for today. Number 1, set and stick to a routine bedtime. What time you go to sleep and what time you wake up should remain the same 7 days a week. Our bodies respond well to a set schedule. Number 2, try to stop drinking caffeine after 2 p.m. because caffeine has a very long half-life and will remain in your system around the time when you want to go to sleep. And number 3, you want to try not to have a heavy meal at night. Heavy carb-filled meals are hard for the body to digest when we're trying to sleep. It's having a lot of effort to digest our foods. And it also causes a spike in our insulin level, a dysregulation of our blood glucose. And if you've ever had the midnight munchies, this could very well be the reason why. If you are somebody who is a diabetic or for whatever reason needs a nighttime snack, keep it low carb. For example, avocado, an apple with peanut butter, something like that. And that should stabilize your blood glucose and allow you to have a better night's sleep. I hope you found these tips helpful, and I invite you again to try just one tonight. Thank you and have a great day.